We're live. It's Sunday evening, our Sunday evening show, which is fun. We have a special guest. We mixed dates with them. So
That was my bad. That was completely. I for some reason I had it in my head that I thought it was Friday, not Thursday. So I'm sorry about that.
it's all good. No, it's fine. And so we were going to have him on a week ago, but we got him on now. That's all that matters. And so it's Dan from Toronto, right? Or you live in Toronto or near Toronto, or?
I'm in Toronto. I live downtown. Yeah.
Oh, right on. Cool. So first question, how'd you get into this, Dan?
Just from day one, like my dad and my family and all that, we were all West Ham, and I was born in East London and everything. So it was born into me, basically. Yeah. I had no choice in the matter.
Well, we've heard that one before, which is really cool. I mean, it's definitely our favorite question of the show. When we started this, which I'm going to do a little public service announcement because I want people to know that we're going to be starting to get back to, the roots of the show, which was when we started this, it was mainly to, showcase supporters groups or people in supporters groups to kind of incentivize everyone to get off their ass and down to the pub, and watch the match with your fellow Hammer since we can't make it to the matches in London all the time. So we started that. We're gonna continue to do that. It's our bread and butter, and I'm glad to be speaking with you tonight because you hang out with the Toronto Hammers, right?
Yep, that's right. Yeah. We're a good bunch of guys up here. I've been going down meeting them for 5 years now. I moved to Toronto 5 years ago, and I pretty much went there straight away. So, yeah.
Awesome. So, like, how long have they been around? Or
since 2012, a bunch of guys met. I can't remember how they met, but they happened to find a couple of other West Ham fans. They found a pub and been going there ever since. Yeah.
So, Dan, let me ask you this. First of all, I want to point out that Tim and I have worn the same dress to the prom. So,
for the first time ever.
First time.
How many shows? This is the first time.
The thing is,
I had that feeling that would happen tonight.
The odds were good that it was going to happen, right? So eventually, right? Eventually. So you can tell me
but mine doesn't say Arnie on the back, so.
Oh, mine does. It's a time capsule. It's a time capsule. That's how I look at it, right? This takes me back to when
I know I'm messing with you.
When he saved us from going down. So one thing I'm curious about, I don't know how much time you spent in Toronto compared to in the U.S., but I have a feeling that having known a fair number of Canadians over the years, I think there's been a stronger Premier League culture in Canada for longer than there has in the U.S. I remember back in the late 90s talking to work colleagues in Canada who were watching the Premier League every weekend live when we didn't have it yet. So I'm just wondering if you've noticed that the Toronto fans are a little bit, maybe they've been around a little bit longer and a little bit more than some of us do.
Possibly. I think it's just the culture of Toronto because no one's from here.
Right.
Everyone's from everywhere else around the world. So there's tons of soccer fans in the city. The bars are always packed in the mornings. Like there's different pubs for different people, for different clubs, and that. There is a huge soccer culture here. I think. So, but I can't talk for. I've only been here for 5 years myself, so I can't talk about what it was like before. But I arrived here during the World Cup in 2014, so it was like huge at that point. The bars are all packed out, people watching all sorts of different countries and that. So, yeah, that was really good.
So, what brought you to Toronto?
It was an ex-girlfriend that brought me to Toronto. Yeah.
That response was a lady, which is the same reason. The same reason I live in Boston. My ex-wife was from Boston, so that's why I'm here. So don't be embarrassed. It happens to all of us. So your ex-wife, so an ex-girlfriend brought you to Toronto, but and you're originally from East London?
I was born in like Newham. My family's all from like Ilford way, but we gradually moved further and further out of London into like Essex.
Yeah, that's cool, right.
But there's still like a West Ham stronghold, Essex. So.
Oh, of course, absolutely.
Yeah.
So you came to Toronto, and obviously the relationship is not there, but you found a love for the city, I guess.
I did, yes. Yeah, I really like this city. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, it's a great place to live, and I'm really enjoying it here. So I decided to stick around.
You haven't gone and started cheering for that hockey team up there, have you?
I have kind of. I found hockey the hardest to get into. Out of all the sports, I found hockey the hardest to get into. But I still follow the Leafs, their results and things like that. So
that's actually worse than supporting West Ham. It's actually been longer since they've won anything, so I feel for you.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, but but hockey is probably the most similar to football. You know what I mean? When it comes down to offsides and I know there's 3 periods instead of 2 halves and stuff, but there's a lot of similarities in the sport itself. There's usually low scoring affairs and exciting penalty shootouts and so on. I mean, I don't know. It's
it's like if you were to move to London and you didn't really know anything about European or English sport, you would follow football, right? Because it's there. But it's like if you live in Toronto, you're going to have to follow hockey. I don't think there's any choice. But
yeah.
So tell me about the atmosphere at the pub there in Toronto. First of all, where do you go? What's the name of your place?
We go to a pub called the Dog and Bear. It's on Queen Street, which is one of the main streets in Toronto. The owners there, one of the guys, Rich Lambert, he is a West Ham fan as well. So so we get our own little reserve section at the back to watch the games every week. We have the sound on and all of that. So yes, it's a pretty good setup we got there.
Yeah, that's cool. So are you on your own as a West Ham group, or do you have other groups in there with you? Or
we're the only group that go there.
Okay.
Good. You do get other fans of you occasionally get a bunch of Man United, and you get a lot of fans from like random teams coming and watching the games on some of the other screens. But we have our own section. We have most of the TVs. We have the sound. It's mainly West Ham.
Yeah, which I mean, with the fans we've talked to here in the last 8-9 months we've been doing this, we found that it really has to be that way. It's hard to share a pub. It's hard when you're 3 or 4 West Ham fans, or even 8 or 10, and you're sitting in there with like 50 Manchester United fans. So it's a better situation.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And the owner, you said one of the owners is a West Ham fan too. That helps.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. It helps. Yeah, he's from the UK as well.
So he's watching you at 7 o'clock in the morning when the games are early, and so he's open.
Oh yeah. He opens a pub for us. He sets on some.
Yeah, you're in Central Time, right?
No, Eastern.
Eastern?
Yeah.
We're by Detroit.
Yeah, so
far from Detroit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of. Yeah.
Detroit's Central.
Detroit's on. Yeah, I know it's weird, but I have a friend who's from Detroit, and I'm 99% sure Detroit's Eastern Time, but like Ohio is. You know what? It's frankly, it's all that middle part of the country nobody goes to anyway. So it doesn't really. But no, Toronto actually is a gigantic city. Toronto's massive, right? Isn't it like 10 million people or something like that?
Yeah, I think in the like the GTA, the Greater Toronto area, I think it's something like 8-9 million or something like that. Yeah, so it's a huge place, huge possibilities.
Yeah, it's really big. Yeah. Richard, I think he's gone to Sevilla. We'll probably get to that in a minute, I guess, right?
Yeah, we will.
So are you guys? I always ask this question too. Do you guys like recruit new fans? I mean, do you go out and try to sort of find, get people into West Ham or get people into the Premier League, or are you just mainly like to hang out and do your thing?
I guess kind of. We're always trying to encourage more people to come down the pub. And like join the group and be part of everything, but I think it's hard to try and persuade someone to support West Ham. Normally, like if like I've got friends here who aren't necessarily into soccer, but because they know me, they look out for West Ham results and things like that.
Yeah.
So that you can get them partly in and maybe try and convert one or two, but yeah, we try and whenever we see someone in the street or something in a West Ham top or something, we try and grab them and say, "Hey, come down the pub," you know. That type of thing.
You guys are on social media, though. I mean,
yep,
maybe not. Yeah, I mean, yeah, especially Instagram and
Twitter. That's the main.
You're everywhere, really.
Yeah, we're on all the social things, and we try to be we're trying to be more active this season, and it actually seems to be working because we are getting a lot more people down the pub this season in comparison to last season.
Yeah, I mean, I understand it's Canada, you know, and there's not, you know, it's you know, the colder the weather, anywhere, even in the States, you know, the harder it is to find a football fan. But I don't know. I think that it's a massive city, though, and with that many people, there's got to be more West Ham supporters.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I was saying that, you know, down in Philly over the weekend, and it's a massive city. There has to be a group there. I know there was one there, and they were strong for a while, and then they just moved on, did different things, or moved away, and whatever, and it fizzled out. And then now someone else came in and has resurrected the group. And I'm like, there's got to be one in Philadelphia. It's one of the biggest cities in the United States. They need a group. And then I'm looking at Boston, where Lee and I were talking about the Boston group earlier, and you know, they have some really hardcore people that show up there, but it's a hard core. It's not a hard group. You know, you know what I'm saying? So it's those guys, but they're there every match, you know, and that's awesome. But at the same time, we were discussing, you know, all the different reasons why maybe people don't go, because in Boston alone, with the amount of universities and the amount of colleges and stuff like that, even in the suburbs, that kids coming in from around the world, around the countries. I mean, there's got to be West Ham supporters, more than 6 or 7. And I mean,
the one in Boston is awfully hard to get to. Very hard to get to. And Boston's a very suburban city, so like Tim and I live about 30 miles north. We don't just go into Boston. It's rare that I go into the city at all. And the place where these guys watch is a nice enough place, but it's way deep in the city and hard to get to.
Yeah, it's 30 miles, but like, you know, an hour, 60 minutes.
Right. So you're talking about, all of a sudden it's a 4-hour excursion on a Saturday morning to go in and watch the match and come back. You know, you miss half your day. But you guys were down. You said you're on a fairly main street in Toronto then.
We're on one of the main streets. There's like tons of bars and everything down on these streets. It's pretty central. Like we do have guys that travel in from quite a distance, like on the outskirts of the city, and I understand like sometimes they can't get in every week, or like, and the transit's pretty terrible here as well. So sometimes you don't want to drink, or if you're drinking, you're not staying for beers afterwards, or because if you're driving rather, you're not staying for beers afterwards and things like that. So I understand why some people can't go every week, but we generally do have a core of, I don't know, 10 to 20 people that try and turn up every week. So
so you have 10 or 20 people. That's good. Yeah, we'll Richard, we're going to get to more stuff in a minute, in case anybody's wondering. But we wanted to catch up with Dan a little bit first. So 10, 20 people, that sounds not too bad compared to most of the groups that we've heard. It sounds pretty normal.
Yeah, I think depending on the like the time and the game and everything, like the last couple, not Norwich, the 2 before that, we got like we're having over 40 people.
That's great.
Turn up for West Ham, so that was really impressive because as I say, it's a smaller core, but once like these more people keep coming, and especially if the team's doing well as well, they're going to keep on coming down. And
you get more for you get more for Liverpool, Arsenal, Manchester City, etc., or do you find that show up for Norwich and Watford too?
Pardon, sorry.
Do you get more for the big clubs, the big opponents, like Manchester or Manchester United, or you find for
I think more people will turn up for them games than the others, because it's more likely they've got a Man United friend who also wants to watch the game or something like that. So let's go there. We're the West Ham and Man United, yeah, more people were in the pub for the bigger games, for sure. Yeah.
Now, did you grow up going to the Berlin? I mean, is that your experience when you were a kid, or did you have a lot of matches?
Yeah. I went to like a fair few. I had a season ticket for a couple of seasons back there. I can't remember my first game. It must be in '96 or something like that. But yeah, been going pretty regularly until I'm moving here. Obviously, I try and go back when I try and go when I'm back in London, but that's about it really now.
So who are some of your heroes growing up?
Oh, who are my heroes? I think one of my first ones must have been like John Hartson and Paul Kitson when they came in I think in '96, '97, I think, something like that. Yeah. I think they were two of my first heroes, and like Julian Dix and like Moncur and people, random people like that. Like the original people were there.
Yeah. But Hartson and Kitson were a really potent duo in their time too.
Yeah, I remember I had that season review on VHS, so I watched that a few times as a kid, and I just remember them coming in in that January or whenever it was, and saving us from relegation, scoring tons of goals, and yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so they were like my first heroes almost, yeah.
And have you been to the Olympic Stadium then?
Yes, yeah, a couple of times, yeah.
So I didn't hear a lot of complaints about it yesterday when we won 2-0. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. Yeah, yesterday. I'm losing track of the days. There's long weekends. I can't remember which day it is. So yesterday, Saturday, when I was on Twitter and a lot of various social media things, I didn't hear a lot of complaints after we won 2-0 with a really nice performance. So I feel as though maybe the atmosphere is really dependent on the team. What was your take on the Olympic Stadium when you went?
When I went, I was expecting a lot worse. Because you hear, because I don't know, because we're in this like West Ham bubble, you hear all the all the hate towards it and everything. But obviously it's not as good as the bowling, I don't think. But that was just something special there. But it wasn't as bad as I think everyone was making out to be. I think it was just the team was bad at the time, and they just all went on top of each other. And
and too, Dan, I'm sure you remember. We see a lot of highlights posted on Twitter from past matches. There's a guy Vinny WHUFC, I think is his Twitter.
Mm.
He's got an account. He posts a lot of goals from years ago. Really enjoyable stuff. We retweeted it. And in a lot of cases, it'll say like, so and so scored on this date in front of like 17,000 people at the Berlin. I mean, it wasn't always sort of packed and rocking. You know what I mean? There were a lot of games when it was half empty. So I think a lot of people forget about that, is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, I've been to plenty of games there where the atmosphere has just been pretty terrible, but I've been there when it's been great as well. So it's up and down, but I think that's everywhere.
Yeah, I think it's everywhere too. No, I agree. I think it's everywhere. It's not as though every game at the Berlin was this, like spiritual experience, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Some of them were. Yeah, to be fair. You guys in the chat room, if you have questions for Dan, who's almost Canadian, so
almost.
Richard. Richard asked us if we were doing a Q&A, but he hasn't asked a question. Come on, man. Ask us a question or something. In about 5 minutes or so, we are going to do we're going to just skim through the news items for West Ham in Google. We're just going to search West Ham and see what pops up. Most likely some Javier Hernandez stuff. And again, in the Hammers polls, we'll see some more Chicharito stuff. But in the meantime, I just would like to discuss what happened this weekend. So I went to Philly to go see the dudes down there, and pleasantly surprised, man. I mean, number one, I thought, from people that I know personally and what I've seen on TV, I thought Philly was a shithole, but it's really not. It's actually really cool. It's really nice. It's actually, it looks older than Boston with the buildings and everything like that and all the houses and such, but at the same time, it's so fucking clean.
What?
Yes, dude. Downtown, man. I mean, yeah. So, I mean, I'm comparing to like, you know, New York or Dorchester or
I haven't
whatever.
been in a long, long time. Now,
But no, I mean, like, same thing with when I went to Pittsburgh. Same thing with when I went to Baltimore. I mean, they're it seems like there's these not redevelopment, but like redevelopments and projects to like keep make things look nicer, I guess you'd say. Yeah. So anyway, no, I'm not saying it's spotless. I'm just saying it's a lot cleaner than I expected, and it's a lot cleaner than fucking Boston. I'll tell you that much, and or New York or anything like that. So
a high bar.
But,
To be honest, no,
it was no. I mean, yeah, there was some sketchy parts, obviously, but for the most part, it was like
wasn't bad.
it was cool, man. It was really cool, and I was walking around the blocks with my son, and I wasn't like looking over my shoulder or nothing. I mean, except when we went into Five Below, and there was this dude talking to himself at the cash register, and yeah. Anyway, we're like,
you get that in Lowell. You get that in Lowell too. So
that's what I'm saying. I'm used to that. So
yeah, that's
Lowell's dirtier than Philly. So
yeah.
Whatever. Anyway,
most places.
Listen,
So,
the best part was when we got there. Like we literally crossed from Camden over the bridge to the Ben Franklin Bridge or whatever, and got right into Philly, and boom, it's right there. And so it's really cool and easy to get to. And I got there a little bit early, and I got to meet the bar owner and asked him a few questions, and he asked me a few questions too. And he was saying how Mark, Brooklyn, the guy who's running that thing over there, that he frequented the bar, and then one day he was just like, hey, you mind opening up for us on match days? And he's like, of course. You bring 10, 20 people here. I'll be here every 10 o'clock match I can do on a Saturday or a Sunday, but I can't do the 7 a.m. matches, which is still cool. So anyway, I went there, and there was only a couple people. Then all of a sudden they just kept coming. I kept seeing shirts and West Ham. It was kind of cool. And then the Dodge Challenger pulls up, and I'm like, oh my God, it's Wally. That's awesome.
Oh, Wally drives a Challenger?
Oh yeah, he drives
nice.
A 392 Hemi, and what is it? I think it's a Super B, man. But no, it's
yeah.
But anyway, it's my favorite car in the whole, besides 71 Cuda. But it's gorgeous. Anyway, he came with his wife, and I get to meet her as well. She was fantastic. But no, seeing Wally, man, he like towers over me almost, and he's a tall dude, and he was very nice, and it was a pleasure to meet Wally and hang out with him. And then TJ Cooney shows up. The guy who always he's in our chat room tonight, but he watches our shows after the fact and then posts comments all the time.
Yeah, that's right.
So it was fantastic to hang out with him, and we get to talk a lot, and that was cool. And Mark was there, obviously, and I guess there was a couple of Maryland Hammers there, and yeah, no, man, it was super cool because it was just Hammers.
How was the place? It's just West Ham, and it's a place called Stowe's, STO''S?
STO''S.
Yeah.
It's on Market in Philly, and it's like between second and third, I think. Yeah, somewhere in there, but on Market, and it was just you walk in, and it's just straight shot, and I mean it's awesome. They open up the the windows, the large windows in the front, so it feels like it's all open, and it was really cool. And the guy put the match on. He had the NBC Gold thing, and it was really cool. And obviously the match was quite the experience. I mean, everybody was gasping at the shots missed.
Yeah.
And I was.
But I mean,
he was giving me shit about Fredericks, and I was giving him shit right back because he loves Fredericks and I can't stand him. And I was like, watch, no, man, listen, like he can get us a corner, but he'll fucking give away 3 passes in between each one, and I'm like, that's not acceptable. So, but anyway, we had fun. We were just riffing off each other, and it was amazing. So anyway, I really do want to do more of those, the road trips and stuff like that. So we were talking about going to DC. I'm going to go to DC on the 28th, hang out with the Irons. So anybody who wants to come down for that one, the 20th of September, come on down for that one. I'll be there with Max again. And then we're, planning the future. I know I already mentioned on the air like a couple episodes ago that I'll be spending Christmas down in a couple weeks down in Florida. So I don't think there's an Orlando group anymore, even though I'm going to be in Orlando for a week. But I'll meet up with the Tampa Hammers. Hopefully, it doesn't matter what day they move the match to. But I hope that they move it somewhere in the week. That I'm still there, because I know originally it was Liverpool on a Saturday, and I think they're moving it for sure, but I just don't know when. But whatever, I'm going to still try to at least meet up with them anyway and hang out. Maybe watch a different match or something like that. Maybe root against somebody.
Tim and I were talking about this earlier before we go on. I want to take some of these trips too. I coach I'm coaching my little son's soccer team this year. He's in first grade, so I coached my older son's team for 2 years, and now it's the little guy's turn. And that's like September, October, every Saturday morning. So I don't know whether I'll be able to do it, in the next couple of months. But yes, we want to start taking some trips like that too.
Oh yeah, New York City's on the list too. Yeah, so for sure.
Now New York is one that my wife would totally do with me. She could take the boys. That would work. How did Max do? Now Max is older. My boys are 8 and 6, so they're a little long road trips are not great for them. How did Max do?
He was fine.
Yeah.
It's funny because it was after the fact, or once the game was starting to come to an end, and he saw me talking to all the Hammers, to all the supporters that were there, and saw that a couple of them knew who I was and everything like that, and how friendly everybody was.
You're a celebrity.
To me, that he loved that and said he wanted to do it again.
Yeah.
So, but during the first hour that we were there, because we got there a little bit early, and then about a half an hour into the match, he was just, head down on his phone. You know what I mean? Because he's a kid.
Well, that's what kids
but at the
do.
same time, the plan of this is to slowly groom him into it. Soccer season's coming up. I want to get him, in the mood, and also want him to drill the West Ham into him. And
yeah, I know. I said to my boys on Saturday, I said West Ham won, because they never watch with me. They really don't. They just don't. I said West Ham won 3 games this week. I said we've won three in a row. My older son says that's a lot for them. I was like, yeah, that's a lot for them.
Well,
so at least he understands what it's like to be West Ham.
Well, the other thing,
more than anybody else.
The other thing that people need to know is that I probably shouldn't have done it like I did it, but Friday morning I woke up at 5:30, to go to work, and I work in a tile factory and a warehouse, whatever, and lift tile all day long. I'm there for 9 hours, and then I drove straight to my wife's work to meet up with her and her friends, who I was going to be the designated driver pretty much. But at the same time, we're all going to hang out. Her and her friends, we were going to go up to see Breaking Benjamin and Chevelle and 3 Days Grace up in Laconia, or Guilford or whatever, which is an hour and 40 minutes away from where I work. So I drove with them and then drove them back, and then I went home. I got home at midnight. I'd already been up since 5:30, and then I power napped for an hour and a half, and then got my son and I got in the car and drove all the way 6 hours to Philadelphia.
Yeah, no, I
mental. And then after the match, we walked around, the blocks of, nearest, a couple miles worth of Philadelphia, and I hopped right back in the car and drove 7 hours back home.
No, I said to my wife, I don't
know how the hell I'm alive right now.
She said, take me at 3 o'clock in the morning to go to Philadelphia.
I don't recommend it.
She said, that would kill you. And she's right. That would kill me. There's no way I could handle that.
And
my voice is beyond control. So, yeah, a little too much. But New York is doable. Yeah. Well, is Tim frozen in time?
I think so.
He looks a little frozen in time.
Yeah.
He'll come back in a minute.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, that look. There we go. So he's going to reload here. There he is. All right.
Hey.
You were frozen in time for a minute there. You were frozen in time for a minute.
I know. So I didn't fall asleep till 10 o'clock at night when I got home, just because I knew that I had to, I had to wake up early this morning. So whatever. But anyway, anything for the show.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm glad you did it.
Yeah.
So it was great. I'm sure it's great to
let's get Dan back involved, and let's do some what do you call it? West Ham news topics and see if anything interests either of you. I'm going to share the screen here in just a moment. Okay, that's not what I want. But anyway, all right. So, what are they talking about Jack Wilshere for now? Anybody know here?
Again?
He hopes that he's ready to put his injury problems behind him, or I also see he hopes of a career renaissance at West Ham. What's your thoughts on Dan? What's your thoughts on Wilshere so far this season, and also the preseason? What you've seen of him?
Well, he's looked better than last season, I think. Well, not that he had much time to play last season, but he's looked good. But then again, we've looked good the last couple of games where he hasn't played. So I hope he can get back to his full potential, like how he was when he was playing at Arsenal, because I think that could be a quality player for us. I just want him to stay fit and get a good run of games, and I think he could be a good squad player for us.
Yeah, did you watch the Newport match at all?
I didn't know. I had work. I was keeping up with the scores, but I unfortunately couldn't watch.
Everybody said that I've spoken to anyway said that he looked awful, except obviously he scored a goal. But you know, I only watched, I'd say, 40 minutes of that match just because I was at work. But I saw that whole situation, and it was beautiful because he made a mistake, and he instinctively, like a pro's pro, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like a lot of people would have just turned around or walked away or ran back or tracked, whatever. He just instinctively just kept going forward. He made the mistake, pushed forward, and the guy wasn't paying attention. He took the ball from him and then, banged one in. And I mean, and it was a beautiful shot too. He knew where to place. I mean, the whole sequence of events was just, it was fantastic how he did that. So, he shows glimpses of that he's still got that in him. But yeah, for the other 30 minutes, I mean, he looked like shit. So, he just needs to get fit, like you said. He's not, clearly.
Yeah.
Still. So.
Yeah. Well, when he spends that much time out injured, like for however many years that he's done it, I think it's going to take some time for him to get back to where he was.
Yeah.
Hopefully he gets that time, and maybe the League Cup's a good place for him to start games and things like that.
I mean,
then he come on as a sub or something in the league, and
I felt as though Noble coming back in the Premier League matches was very important for us. Again, we've talked about this a lot. I guess we should never underestimate Mark Noble. I keep saying he may not give us 38 games a year, and he's already missed one. So 37, 36, however many you want to talk about in the Premier League. But maybe he will, because the guy seems timeless, and he's absolutely critical to our side right now. And as great as I think Wilshere can be, I think we need Noble to come in and give us some stability here after those first couple of games. But I think Wilshere, if he gets back to form, could actually be our best player. I've always thought that. He just needs to be healthy and get back to form. And again, he may never get back to what he was at Arsenal. I don't know. But if he does, then I think he could actually be the best player on the pitch for us, easily up there with Anderson and what we've seen of Valero so far. And it could be, a massive boost for us.
Yeah. Let's see what else we got here. It looks like, it was a great match, obviously. But what are your guys' thoughts on Tim Krul is not necessarily, how do I put it, man? He's not a superstar, really. Or I don't know what the word would be. He's not top drawer, and yet we made him look that way, don't you think? Did you see those saves?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Was it just poorly placed shots and we would just make him look good, or do you think that he's really that good? I've never seen him play like that against anybody.
He might have
at Newcastle, really,
He might have had a good day. I don't know.
Sorry, we should have won like 8-1. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Eventually, but
yeah, that's true.
What do you think, Dan?
I think he's a decent keeper. I think he had a good game. Made a couple spectacular saves. I don't think it's any real more than that. As you say, he's not fantastic. Another day we could have scored a few more if he wasn't on his game. So he had a good day. He had a good day.
What do you think about the penalty that should have been?
Oh, it should have been a penalty.
I mean, first of all, VAR or otherwise, how does the referee not see that in real time? Secondly, I'll ask the question everybody asked right after the match: why do we have VAR? It's going to suck all the drama out of the game, right? We're not going to be able to celebrate goals anymore because we're going to have to wait and see if there's a flag on the play, to mix metaphors. But I mean, if we're going to have it, let's please have it for stuff like that, right? I mean, it couldn't be more obvious. You got hacked down, it just seems so simple to me.
Yeah, for sure. I'm waiting for like some kind of explanation as to why it wasn't used or something. But I don't know. I've no idea how that wasn't.
I think it seems possible that the referees and the other officials aren't well trained in it, or don't know how to use it, or don't remember they can use it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But how you see that incident and not even think to yourself, hey, let's review that one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It seemed like a clear and obvious error, which would that's the whole point of VAR was brought in, was to fix those mistakes.
So it's I mean, VAR already saved us 2 points, arguably, against Brighton, because it took away a would-be Brighton goal that I'm not sure we would have realized. So I can't be too upset about it. But on the other hand, I generally kind of don't like it.
Yeah.
Well, the other elephant in the room, which has been sitting on the screen, I didn't even realize, but I can tell by looking at the chat room at this moment that it looks like Jordan Hugel got another brace for QPR. And some fans are calling for him to be recalled, and some aren't, obviously. And it's quite the discussion. Dan, what do you say? What say you?
No, leave him there. He's not going to play, and I'd rather one of the youngsters. If we're struggling, I'd rather one of the youngsters. Like if Xander Silva gets fit again or something like that, rather they play. Hugel is not going to be at West Ham much longer. He's got a low ceiling. No, just he can stay at QPR. He's a championship player.
I feel the same way. A championship player doing well in the championship, and good for him. We've been through the Jordan Hugel experience. Wonderful guy who really wanted to play for us, just wasn't good enough. I don't think he's going to be any better now than he was before.
Correct.
Yeah, agreed.
We had players like when we were in the championship, we had players like that. You know, the championship, they came up and they, I mean, kind of Vazte was a little bit like that.
Oh yeah, sure.
Lansbury, I think, Angelo Lansbury, whatever his name was, Henry Lansbury. Yeah, I mean, we had guys and then wrote murder mystery novels, and but then when they got to the Premiership, they couldn't get published. So,
pretty much, man.
So no, I don't. I think it's crazy to talk about recalling people. That's nuts.
I love that though. All right. I agree with you guys, and just don't tell that to Charlie from Hammers Chat, because
I know Charlie loves him. I know.
Loves him. He wants him back. I'm not even discuss that. Anything that says Spurs in it, I really don't give a shit.
Hey, I want to ask something. I saw a lot of tweets today about Chicharito, and a lot of pretty credible fans saying he was really rude and kind of difficult to deal with. Now, I know he wanted away, and I frankly don't think he fit our system anyway. So I understand why he wanted him in a transfer request with Allaire there and Ajeti. It's pretty clear that his future was not at West Ham. But I saw a lot of criticism of him kind of as a person. And I always thought he was very, sort of well-spoken off the pitch. I never really had a problem with the way he behaved at all. You guys, have you heard things that I haven't heard? Are you more in touch than I am about this guy being some sort of total jackass? I never had that impression.
None whatsoever.
No, I've always thought he was quite professional wherever he's been. So
I've heard too.
Yeah, same here. I think there's maybe a little sort of bitterness.
That could be, or it just could be because you've heard it on Twitter, and Twitter is just a fucking garbage hole for everything.
I mean, I like
negativity. You're right. The bitterness will come up for sure. Like, I'll never forget, man. I'll use a baseball reference here because it's kind of fun to do. Because since Lee's on the show tonight, he'll understand. But back when the Red Sox had Manny Ramirez. He was one of the biggest things that we've ever had. Really, he was really an amazing baseball player. And then, my father even was, I'll never forget, he was so into him and like saying, oh, he's the greatest thing. This is so fantastic. We have him, blah, blah, blah. The next thing you know, he's gone. And he's like, oh, he's going to suck for that other team. Oh, fuck him. He's a piece of shit. We don't want him anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those deals I thought it was just a Boston thing where once you leave us, we hate you, period. You're dead to us. But apparently it's like that in all sports, in all towns and cities where someone leaves you, see you later. Bye.
It's a West Ham.
Gary, I see you in there, Gary. I know you feel the same way. I saw your post on Facebook today.
No,
Cheerio.
I wish him luck. I thought he did a good job for us. I thought he was not good up top by himself, and he didn't fit in the system. But he scored some critical goals. He won a couple of matches for us. I really have no problem with him. I as well at Sevilla, which is a beautiful city, and I hope he has a good spell.
So that's the thing. So West Ham is why we drink. That's Wayne's pod with Adam and James. Yeah. There's a question over here on Hammer's Polls, good friends of ours. They said with Javier Hernandez now sold to Sevilla for $8 million, do you think this was a smart move? That's the thing. Smart move. That's the question. Yes, let him go, or no, we should have kept him. Dan.
It's a tough one. Like, at the end, we are a bit light up top now. Fair enough. But if he wanted to go, then just let him go. I don't think it's too much of a miss for us, really. It would have been nice if we could have at least held him onto him till January or something, just in case. Mm-hmm. And then we could actually bring in some backup or something. But I don't mind.
Lee?
Yeah, I don't really mind losing him. My biggest concern is replacing him, which I kind of think we still need to do. Again, I wish him well. I don't think he wanted to be at West Ham, and if he doesn't want to be at West Ham, he shouldn't be at West Ham. So the biggest concern to me is, if Valera's healthy, that's great.
Yeah.
If not, we didn't see much from Ajeti in the League Cup match, and then that's kind of it. I mean, there's younger players maybe bring in. There's some talk that maybe Xandri Silva is healthier than anybody realized if we're going to go to Chicharito. Letting Chicha go doesn't bother me. Not replacing him bothers me.
Okay, so that said, with Cheech on his way to Sevilla, which free agent would you sign as a third choice behind Aller and Ajeti? Wilfred Bonny? What the fuck? Is that Doumbia or Doumbia? I can't read that from here.
I can't read it either because it's too small.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody tell us who that is because I can't.
But Bakary Sacco or Ross McCormick. Ross McCormick's another one of those championship strikers that when he's in championship, man, he, God almighty, can score, dude. But once he's up in the Premier League, I don't know what happens. But yeah, man, QPR should sign him. Imagine him and Hugel. Whew.
They get promoted and then relegated.
60 goals from two guys, I guarantee it. They'll break records. But anyway, so if you're listening, QPR, do it. I don't know. Anybody? What do you guys think, man? If you had a choice of one of these guys, would you go for the mystery man, Doumbia?
Where's Balotelli? Where's Balotelli these days?
Oh, he's
he signed to someone. Cagliari?
Yeah.
Brescia? I think it's Brescia. Okay,
well, just saying.
Oh, yeah. Italy. He went back, yeah. All right.
Yeah. Oh, so just Seydou Doumbia. I don't know who that is. I'm sorry. I really have no idea who that is. Lucas knows who it is. Lucas, tell us who it is. Dan, do you know who that is?
I don't know. I was just going to say Wilfred Bonny because he's the only one that I think has had decent Premier League experience out of the four of them. But even that's not very inspiring rather. So I don't know.
I don't think any of those would do us any good, and I would rather go with.
He's 31 years old.
Good Lord, look at Seydou Doumbia. Look at his picture. Good gracious. Oh my, we're looking at just Google him and look at the first picture that pops up. The guy looks
Doumbia.
Oh my word. 31, but go. He's from Ivory Coast.
Yeah, 31 in Ivorian years. It's like dog years.
That dude's 45 if he's a day old. Look at that guy.
Jesus Christ.
Good Lord, 31.
Oh,
That's
God almighty.
if he's 31. No, he's.
He played in the MLS. What? Did he play in the MLS?
Oh, that's disqualification right there.
Disqualification, automatic DQ. He doesn't have any stats though. No, but he's got a profile on MLS.com, which is weird.
I think he played in the 70s. I think he played against.
There you go, in the old NASL.
Yeah, exactly. He played for the Cardinals of Colorado.
He played alongside Bobby Moore and
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He played for the San Antonio Americans.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, he played in the 2010 World Cup at the age of 42,
right.
And for the Ivory Coast. What the fuck? He played in Moscow for Shishka Moscow, Shish Kebab.
CSKA, yeah, for CSKA.
Yeah, and that's about it. But he broke out with young boys in Switzerland, scoring 50 goals over 2 seasons. Holy shit! Wow. He also played in the J League. He's been everywhere. But anyway, enough of him.
Enough of him.
You know what? I'll take him. How about that? Let's just take him. Because Bonnie's and Sacco is non-existent, and McCormick only scores a championship, and I don't want to be there. So, All right, there you go. Next question. Before we get into the rapid fire, this one says, "I've got a hard hat on for this one. Is this a season that we finish above?" You can read it because I'm not saying it. Spuds. I'll say that much.
Yeah. You dad, I'll let you go first. I don't really want to answer this, so you go first.
Do we finish above Spuds?
Probably not. No.
Even how they're performing, you don't think so? I mean, it's just too early. Is that what you're saying?
I don't. I just. It's West Ham. We're gonna.
Yeah.
It's not. It's West Ham. If we do, it'll be fluke, I think. But that would be great. We're
Leicester had a fluke a couple years ago. Why can't we?
That's true. Exactly. I really hope we do. I'd love it if we did, but I'm sure Spurs will turn it on at some point during the season, probably against us.
Yeah.
What do you think, Lee?
I think we have too much quality. I'm sorry. I do. I think we're improved, and if we stay healthy, I think we could legitimately talk about top 6 if we stay healthy, really healthy, which seems unlikely. But I still think they're a top 4 club, and I think they may be the best outside of Manchester City and Liverpool. I hate to say that, but I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we have the players. I think that if we do manage to keep most of our players healthy, more than half of our key players healthy, then I think that we could definitely make a move, because it looks like every single match they're starting to gel and they're feeling more comfortable with each other. Yeah. It's just a matter of A, health, and B, is Pellegrini going to keep changing things up too much, like every single week a different team sheet. Sometimes it appears though to work, but for the most part, last year he made some baffling decisions that cost us, with his team sheet and also his substitutions. But this year, I don't know, man. I think that they look more comfortable. I feel more confident watching them, because they look more confident. They just need to find a right back, like bad, because
yes, I agree.
If Fredericks had Zabaletta's fundamentals,
yep,
or Zabaleta had, Fredericks' speed, you have a super player. Seriously.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
I agree.
In the meantime, either way you go, we have a weakness, a big one, because Fredericks gives the ball away too much. Yes, he can obviously get us corners, which is awesome, which he did, last match, but not so much against Watford. But, both matches, I count on my hand at least 6 times where he watches. Who do you know that watches the ball when they kick it? Who on earth does that besides this 2-year-old? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
That's like tiny tots, 3 to 4 year old under 3s. That's what they do. They look at the ball and then they kick it. If you're lucky, actually, they don't even do that. I think they look up They don't even look at the ball when they kick. They fall on their ass. But Fredericks loves to just look down and pass directly to whoever the fuck is there, which is usually the opponent or an opponent's or one of our, somebody will deflect off and go out of bounds. Something. Anyway.
We're going to take up a collection game. We're going to take up a collection for this. This is where the scarf money's going. If you guys buy a scarf, we'll spend the scarf money on buying to the Frederick shirt. But I'm with you. But you know what? The thing is, I'm with you. I think.
How did I go veer off? Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me finish then. I'm sorry. I veered off. Sorry. I've just been dying to say something bad about Fredericks tonight so that everybody could drink in the chat room. But no, I'm saying that, with the exception of right back and, Fabianski seems to be having a good year, so I'm not going to say anything bad about him.
Oh, okay.
And our left back situation is fine. I mean, we have Masuaku. That's all that matters. I mean, he's actually performing.
He's great going forward.
Yeah, and
we saw him on the goal on Saturday.
Correct, and you have the rest of the team playing well. Then Masuaku seems to step up his game a lot, which is nice to see. But on the other hand, I mean, I don't know, whatever. I think we'll do fine. I think, yes, we will finish above Spuds. They're not even on my table. I took them off the table.
They're not even, yeah.
They don't even count.
I'm going to say this. I think we can finish ahead of Manchester United.
Definitely. Chelsea?
I think that's very possible. And I'll tell you this. I
can't wait to play Chelsea. I can't wait to play
Chelsea. I was going to say Chelsea are vulnerable too. Chelsea are very vulnerable too. Oh, yes, absolutely. I do agree with Lucas, though. This worries me a little bit because I felt so confident in Balbuena and Diop. And if anything, I thought Balbuena was a little bit better. However, Diop and Ogbonna have been a pretty good partnership here these last couple of matches. And I don't know. It makes me wonder, I don't know. I feel as though that's one of those things like you want that to be, you want to rock, your center backs to be rocks of the side. And we're a little undecided there. So I don't know. What's your take on that, Dan? What have you thought about our center back situation?
Yeah, I was just exactly the same as you. I thought Balbuena and Diop would be the centre backs going into the season. Yeah. I thought that was pretty much decided. The first couple of games that we did looked a bit shaky at the back, but I think the whole team didn't look particularly great. But
Right. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, Ogbonna's come in and him and Diop seem to be playing all right at the moment. I guess it's just going to. I guess he has decided, and that is what he's decided on for now. We'll see how long that lasts. But yeah,
it's fine as long as it works. Yeah, as long as it works. It's surprising to me because I never really rated on Ogbonna. I thought Balbuena was the best center back, but it's last season kind of hit a wall in maybe like February, March, where I think the Premier League, the pace of it, the physicality of it got him a little bit. So maybe if Balbuena is ready to step in, and if that happens again, maybe this is all a part of Pellegrini's plan. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. The one thing I just thought about that may be, I don't know if it is the issue, but I guess Balbuena did play in the Copa America over the summer, so maybe he's getting a rest for a few weeks, perhaps. I don't know. Or there's some kind of niggly injury or something. I don't know.
No,
that's the problem, and we talk about that a lot. Actually, is that we don't see everything. We don't know what's happening in the training pitch or in the training or in the physio's room. We don't know what these details, and that's kind of cool because they are keeping hush hush, like a lot of things, kind of like what they were doing with the whole transfer window. And which was a pleasant surprise, even though they were throwing out smoke screens, which I love too, and very secretive. And I love that. As long as the results, show, I'm happy. Yeah. I'll do whatever they want. But I mean, it sucks. I wish we knew, the progress of Wilshere. How fit is he really?
Yeah.
I mean, what's up with Yarmolenko, man? Like he's still. I mean, he had a fantastic game. The week before, he didn't have a fantastic game, but he wasn't as bad as everyone says. But you just see in his face that he's just not fit. He's not fit, but where is he at though? How we don't know, but they do, and that's shit like that sucks. Or someone rolls their ankle and slips on a blade of grass or something like that in training. We don't see that. It sucks.
Yarmolenko's scoring to me was enormous for us.
That was beautiful.
That was the technique on that volley was
nasty. Yeah.
to me,
and then he Antonio'd it like in the next one.
But he's the guy who has to step up in place of Antonio. I mean, if anybody's going to step up and take that position,
of course, that is his position, man.
That's
That's his
what I
position. He's technical. He's great. Just you need to get him a fit.
I think
Antonio is going to be our super sub when he comes back. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
I think which is not a bad way to use him anyway. I think after looking off the pace against Watford, to have Yarmolenko score in a Premier League match with a goal like that, it's enormous for his confidence and for our confidence in him. I thought it was massive, and because again, he's got to stay healthy, but he's got to step into that position, and he did that really effectively on Saturdays. That's a huge. I breathed a sigh of relief in a lot of ways, when he got on the score sheet, because I thought, that's good for where he needs to be right now.
Yeah.
After a little bit of difficulty last week.
Definitely.
Yeah, and let me just say something else. Sebastian Aller, he makes runs. We have a striker. We have a real striker.
Yeah.
Look at these goals he's scoring. Look at his goal on Saturday.
He's unselfish as well.
No, he's exactly. And he made a
That's
run.
what I love.
Nobody ever did that. Arnautovic never did that, or he was too slow to get there.
Yeah.
I mean, he did what a striker does. He got on the end of a cross, and he's like goes under the radar of the defense. I don't know. It's like they don't see him coming. All of a sudden he's there. He pops up. He scores. It's magnificent. I haven't seen this at West Ham in as long as I can remember. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Paolo Di Canio. So. Maybe Dean Ashton, to be fair, but that didn't last very long.
Yeah,
let's hope he stays healthy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's time for rapid fire, and then because I need a couple minutes at the end to mention a few things about upcoming stuff and whatnot. So basically, Dan, if you haven't seen us do it, we pretty much we have 11 questions for you, and it's supposed to be rapid fire. I mean, if you care to elaborate, you can elaborate on the answers depending on what it is, And
now, I don't get to talk during this part because I talk too much.
We'll be here for another 56 minutes and 40 minutes. All right, so meat pie or apple pie?
Meat.
Any particular kind?
I love a steak and kidney pie.
Right on. No, we've heard that a few times. Not that. We've heard everything from shepherd's pie to but steak and kidney seems to come up. Who's your favorite current West Ham player?
I think I'm going to go Noble, just because he is Mr. West Ham.
Right on. Who frustrates you in the current squad the most? Who most frustrates you?
Possibly Antonio. Like when he's on, he's good, but sometimes he just when he takes them shots from distance and they like sail into the crowd, that just it's so infuriating. When we're in a good position, and he just wastes it. So I'd say that.
Yeah. So number one and number two, I mean, when it comes down to that list right there, out of all the times we've asked these questions, I think it's Antonio or Fredericks. Oh yeah, thanks for doing that, Lee. I forgot to take that out.
Yeah, I just I'm
so out of it, man. Sorry.
Chris, I think, has been in the chat room. Chris and I did the show on Thursday.
Yeah.
And I was playing with it. I just now figured out that I can do this even if I don't start the video. So I'm a monster unleashed now with this thing.
Once you're logged in, as how we got you logged in, every time you go back on, you're logged in that way.
Oh, yeah. Now it's going to bounce.
Now you get all the controls. Now, the other thing is that you did have a fantasy Premier League show logo on the bottom the whole time.
I don't know how to get rid of that.
As you go into, anyway, we'll talk about it.
People can watch that. That's okay. It's an advertisement. I don't.
No, I know that's cool. Yeah. So I'll talk about that later, though. But
okay.
Yeah. So basically, it was Antonio and Frederick. So the usually number one, number two answer. The survey says, those would be the two. Yeah. For me, it's Fred Bianski.
Bill Brasky. It's Bill Brasky. Nobody remembers that except
He said those two frustrate me the most, Fabianski and Fredericks. But yeah. Anyway, all right. So it's not about me. Is it FA Cup or top four finish?
FA Cup. Oh well, wait. So wait, top four finish.
I switched it. Yeah, we switched it.
I'm still going to go FA Cup because it would be great to win something. European nights would be brilliant, but to actually win something would be great. The
question used to be when Wayne first came up with these questions for us. It used to be FA Cup or top six finish, but that's easy. It's FA Cup, and everybody was just saying FA Cup. But then once you change it to Champions League, I don't know, but you know, FA Cup. I mean, you get the silverware, and then you get into the Champions League. So it's
a trophy.
You get the hardware and an opportunity to. Anyway,
FA Cup's a good start, and we'll get the Champions League next year.
When we have the Mark Noble stand that opens in 20 years, we want to see the picture of him holding up the FA Cup in 2019.
That's it. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. What about West Ham do you love?
I don't know. I think
these questions are going to be hard.
This is a tough one.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if I can describe what I love about West Ham. It's not quick fire anyway.
No, that's fine.
I don't know. The fans are great.
That's usually the one answer.
That's the best answer.
Yeah. So in one way, shape, or form, it's family, the support, the fans. You know what I'm saying? Like the camaraderie of all the supporters really is in one way, shape, or form. That's usually within one answer. It's also the next answer too, usually. What about West Ham do you hate?
Oh, I can see why it's the I don't know. The inconsistency is what I hate about West Ham. One week we will look like world beaters, and the next week we won't turn up against Brighton or something and get turned over by Brighton. So yeah, the inconsistency.
For the record, Mark Noble would obviously hold up the 2020 FA Cup, not 2000.
Yeah, yes. Good catch.
I don't know what year it is. Yes. Interesting.
All right. What sound makes you happy?
What sound?
Yes.
During Forever Blind Bubbles, when the music cuts out and all you can hear is 60,000 people singing, that sound makes me happy.
That's the second time I've heard that today. That's so weird. That's awesome. That's a great answer. I think we've heard that a couple times, but this particular question has been across the board because people misinterpret. It doesn't necessarily have to be, West Ham related, but it's nice to do that. But how I put it, when Wayne created these questions, he strategically threw in the difficult ones smack dab in the middle that completely just throw you off. Like you're expecting West Ham, and then all of a sudden, what sound makes you happy? It's from inside the actor's studio. He pretty much threw it off. Yeah, James Lipton. So here's a good one. What's your favorite curse word? Cuss word, curse word, swear, whatever.
I use fuck a lot, so there's got to be that one. Yeah.
The number one answer. There you go. See you next Tuesday is number 2, and bollocks has come up a couple times. I like that one. And,
it's not really a cuss word here.
And twat.
Yeah, I love twat.
Twat is great. But if you say it the other way, if you pronounce it the other way, the American way, it's inappropriate. And oh God! It usually gets the chat room going too. Usually, they all share their favorite curse words. What team do you love to beat?
I love any of the top 6.
Which
I'm going to say
you could pick just one. Which one would you say? You know what? I could watch them beat them every day of the week.
Spurs, I think. I love beating Spurs.
That's cool. So Chelsea, Man United, and Spurs are usually the most popular answers. I mean, most everybody says Spurs, but Man U comes in a close second. Chelsea, I'd say, would be like the third most popular.
Oh yeah,
that one.
I love beating all 3 of them.
Oh, of course. Oh yeah, definitely Arsenal too.
Oh yeah.
And
if we ever beat Man City, I'll see what that feels like, and then I'll decide where that goes.
Good one.
Right.
They don't count because we don't beat them, man.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Yep, Gary. Yes.
Yeah, we love Gary.
Everyone. I love Gary, man. I can't wait. Gary, please come to DC. Make the trip and meet me and Max. That would be awesome, dude. So next one is name a player, past or present, that epitomizes West Ham.
I'm gonna have to say Noble again. he is Mr. West Ham, right? He epitomizes everything about the club. He's just the passion and everything that he puts into it.
There's no wrong answer, because I guess this is pretty much like a question for you or whoever's you're answering, because we've heard Brooking, we've heard Dix, we've heard DeCanio, we've heard Bonds and Moore. I mean, we've heard so many different people, Alan Martin. I mean, it's so many different people. Scott Parker, even though he was there for a short period of time, when he was with us, he epitomized, I feel.
Exactly, yeah.
You know,
Sorry, I do.
You know what I'm saying? Because that time period, man, I wish I could go back, except not that 10-11 season, which was the first year I started following the club. But that championship season, man, I love that one. Because we won a lot of games, you know?
It's nice to win a lot of games.
You know? Like, hey, how you feeling? Oh, West Ham won today. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Hopefully we can bring that back.
But it was against Burton, so.
I know.
I'll take it.
Blackpool, man, we smashed the shit out of them twice in the season, and we fucking almost lose to them in the cup final.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe that. Playoff final, sorry. All right, so last question. This is my favorite one.
Okay.
If you could take a time machine back to experience anything to do with West Ham, when and where would you go?
It would have to be either for the 75 final or the 80 final. To witness.
Yeah.
The 75. Well, my dad was there at Wembley watching that game, so that would be maybe that would be weird to watch it with my young dad at 15 years old, or however old he was. So maybe I'll have to go to the 80 final instead, just to avoid that Back to the Future type thing. But yeah, just to win, see West Ham win something, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, no, the 80 final is probably the most popular answer. We've heard the 66 World Cup, just to see the West Ham players win for England. That's awesome. We've also heard somebody, I can't remember who it was, said they would go back to like the 1930s to watch something, to see the experience. Like 100,000 supporters at a match with that.
1923 FA Cup final. Yeah, the White Horse final. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that would have been great. Yeah.
That I mean, we lost.
Although we lost that one. Yeah.
Yeah, but still, just to experience that day. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
100,000 people. The crowd estimate was like 200,000 people.
Dude, the crush though, man. I don't know if I can handle that, dude. I'd have a panic attack, dude. If there's that many. You know, the way things were set up back then, I'd be super sketched out about that. But
I wouldn't go to that. I'd also be 10 times larger than.
Watch from 2 towns away with my binoculars. Oh, yep, I can see it. All right. That's all the questions. Hopefully you had a good time with us.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it was fun for us, and tell your fellow Toronto Hammers to subscribe to our channel and have a watch. And also, if they're more than welcome, any of them are more than welcome to come join us.
Sure.
We focus on supporters groups and whatnot, but if you know anybody, and this is for the people who are watching too, if you guys know anybody or yourself who has not been on the show and are a West Ham supporter, and I really don't care where you live in the world, we'd love to have you on the show and talk West Ham, and find out, who you were, how you got into West Ham, etc. That's our favorite question, is usually how you got into West Ham, finding out how everybody got into it. So
love if you buy a scarf.
Buy a scarf, please. So go to our website, it's AmericanHammersTV.us, and buy a scarf. We also have t-shirts still for sale, bonfire.com/AmericanHammersTV or bonfire.com/AHTV-2, which is in both of them are in the description. We do have some cool shows coming up for you. We're never slowing down, I can tell you that much. So let's see, Monday we get 2 shows, and tomorrow's 4 o'clock show was supposed to be today's 4 o'clock show, Eastern time anyway. It's going to be Anton from Irons United. Now, Irons United was actually the first YouTube channel that actually invited, one of us on the show. And that was me. I got to go on that. So just say thank you. We've been putting them back, interviewing some of them on our show. We've already interviewed Stelio, and we've interviewed Luke Bailey, who's been on the show a couple times with us in the past. Did some match previews or reviews with us last season. and we're going to probably have him back to do that with us. We try to have good relationships with everybody on the YouTube. The Hammers Chat guys have been on a bunch of times. I'm trying to get me on there. We've had them all on here, so come on. Me and Lee or whoever. We need to come over now. West Ham Fan TV, same thing. We've had them all on. Oh, that's the thing. I'll get to that in a minute. Hold on. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. All right. So, where am I? Monday? Oh yeah, Monday. So we got a couple shows Monday. I forgot who the second guest is because there's just so many shows coming up. We do have a Wednesday show again, and we have a Thursday show. Our Fantasy Premier League show. Listen, people, Alex is doing a great job with the Fantasy League. We have over 200 people in the Fantasy League. It's really fun. But the point is, he does a weekly recap and preview, I guess you'd say, with just about our league on Tuesday nights on YouTube, on our channel. And we want people from the league to join him on Tuesday nights to shoot the shit about our league. You know what I mean? So there's over 200 of you on there. So if you're watching this, please get in contact with us. We'd love to have you join Alex on a Tuesday night and talk Fantasy League. I'm
number 65.
Right on.
Yeah.
I'm 180 something. I had a good week. I'm down the bottom, but yeah, man. If you ever want to join the show, please just let us know on a Tuesday night if you're available. Anybody who's available, just be more than happy to have you talk Fantasy League. Yeah, there was another one coming up. But the thing that is distracting me is the fact that we finally got somebody that I've been dying to get, and it's not a player. But he's got really thick eyebrows. And, I love the guy. At least I love watching him on West Ham Fan TV. And we got him on Sunday coming up. Not yesterday, obviously, but next week. Or not yesterday, today. Not today, next Sunday. Yeah, next Sunday. We got Graham from West Ham Fan TV is going to be our guest, man. I'm super psyched about that.
That's great. Yeah,
that's going to be a 4 p.m. show as well. I don't Eastern time, and I don't know who the night guest is, but I know we have a night guest. We have lots of guests, but anyway, we need more guests. We want to keep filling out our calendar so I don't stress out the last minute and trying to freak out and figure out who we're going to have on. I'd rather freak out about who our co-hosts and hosts are going to be than our guests. So please, you want to be on the show? You haven't been on the show yet? Message us. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We answer all of our messages. Message us. Thank you. There was something else we need to mention, Lee? I don't know.
Are we still sponsored by Drinkware?
Oh, yeah.
I know we're playing the show, but I didn't know if we're...
Well, yeah. I mean, they gave us a couple mugs.
All right.
I appreciate that. And they look gorgeous, by the way. And they feel gorgeous, too. Like, they're so smooth. Yeah. But
I'm going to leave you alone with your mug after we're done here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Anyway, no, not enough coffee tonight, man. But I'll make it happen one of these days. All right. So I guess that's about it. But anybody? Oh, yeah. So I just want to say thank you again to Philadelphia. I want to say thank you to Mark. I want to say thank you to what the hell was it? Wally and TJ. You guys were awesome. And it was fantastic to finally meet you. And the one picture I got taken with Wally, my son took it on my phone. And the lights in the back, like the outsides in the back. So me and Wally are just two giant silhouettes doing this. You can't see us at all. I'm like, son of a bitch. I swear it's Wally and me. But yeah, I'll post it on one of the social media things soon. But yeah, so listen, the other thing I want to mention, Tebow. There you go.
Yeah.
We need to get you on, man. Listen, Lee, you have no idea. I talked to this guy on the phone. Steve Mothersoul is our good friend as well. We talked to him a lot. They're going to be doing a monthly recap podcast for us about West Ham, from the British perspective.
No, he's seen it all. And
he's got a shitload of stories, like awesome stories.
And I told him too, because he had trouble getting on. Well, this was all on the show on Thursday night. He had trouble getting on, and I told him I would really rather have him on his own episode. Chris,
well, that's true. It was actually his request to be on with someone else because he liked how you and Wayne did it the other week. He's like, I like that vibe, that feel of. He said he watched the show where it was you and Wayne and 2 guests. He said he really liked that. He wanted to have something like that again. So that's why I scheduled you on Wednesday. And Wayne couldn't do it, so that's why.
Let's have him on with Gary. Maybe Gary will come back on with us. Gary who was here tonight, Gary from South Carolina.
Yeah.
He could tell stories. The two of them could tell some stories.
We should just have them both on together.
Yeah, we should have them on together. Yeah.
Have a story fest.
We'll just like subtitle, a little bit underneath, but we'll have them.
Well,
that would be great. I think that'd be great.
All right, we've gone an hour and 15 minutes. I do tend to ramble when it comes down to the ending and the beginning, or if it's about Fredericks or Fabianski or Antonio. Anyway, James Tompkins. Come on, you irons.
There you go.
Drink. Just hang on. I'll be with you off the air. Hold on 1 second.